On the battlefields of Europe, the German war machine seemed invincible. Their factories churned out tanks and planes with relentless efficiency, fueled by a belief that no enemy could touch them. Allied bombing campaigns, initially hailed as the key to victory, had become a cruel joke, a wasteful, inaccurate scattering of bombs across the landscape. The pilots of the Luftwaffe would taunt the lumbering American bombers, knowing their payloads would miss their mark by miles. They called them the flying blunderbusses. They laughed as American bombs fell harmlessly into open fields and residential areas, a testament to the futility of daylight precision bombing. They believed their industrial heartland was safe, protected not just by flak and fighters, but by the very laws of physics. They were wrong, and one man, with a device no bigger than a toolbox, was about to make their laughter disappear forever. The year is 1935. A quiet, unassuming man named Carl Norden works in a small, cluttered laboratory in New York City. He is a genius, a meticulous engineer, but more than that, he is a perfectionist consumed by a singular, almost spiritual obsession: accuracy. Norden is not a soldier. He is a man of faith, and for him, bombing is a moral act. He believes that to destroy a target, one must destroy only the target. To hit a military factory and not the orphanage next door, that is the ethical imperative that drives him. The prevailing wisdom of the day scoffs at this notion. Bombing is an art of saturation, of overwhelming an area with sheer volume. You don't aim for a building, you aim for a city block. Norden's vision is a radical departure. He sees bombing not as an act of brute force, but as a problem of applied physics, a complex ballet of wind, speed, altitude, and gravity. He knows that an airplane traveling at 200 miles per hour is a wildly unstable platform. The slightest gust of wind, the smallest vibration from the engines, can send a bomb hurtling hundreds of yards off course. The bomb itself is a fickle projectile, its trajectory a complex curve influenced by atmospheric pressure and air resistance. The pilot and the bombardier are in a constant, frantic struggle against these invisible forces. They are guessing, praying, and hoping that a few of their bombs will find their mark. Norden's solution is a device he has been perfecting for years: the Norden Bombsight. At first glance, it looks like a collection of gears and brass, a complicated, heavy piece of machinery. But inside it is a marvel of analog computing. It's an intricate mechanical brain designed to solve the complex mathematical equation of a bomb's trajectory in real time. The bombardier enters the plane's airspeed, altitude, and the wind direction and speed. The bombsight then, through a system of gyroscopes and mechanical calculators, continuously updates the release point, a precise moment in time and space where the bombs must be dropped to hit the target. It is more than a sight. It is a mechanical autopilot. When the bombardier locks the crosshairs on the target, the bombsight takes control of the plane, steering it in a perfectly straight, stable run-up. For those critical seconds before the drop, the aircraft becomes a ghost, guided not by human hands, but by the cold, impartial logic of the machine. Norden's perfectionism is legendary. He and his team build the device with the precision of a Swiss watchmaker. Every gear, every bearing is crafted to an excruciatingly high standard. The early prototypes are temperamental, prone to jamming, but Norden is relentless. He tests and retests, refines and re-engineers, driven by the belief that this machine will one day change the face of war. The military, however, is skeptical. They've seen other bomb sites, other promises of accuracy. They see Norden's device as overly complex, too fragile for the rigors of combat. It's expensive, secretive, and untested in the field. But a few forward-thinking officers, men who have seen the frustration of their pilots firsthand, see the potential. They understand that a bomb that hits its target is worth 10 that miss. They see the possibility of a new kind of war, one where strategic targets, not entire cities, are neutralized with surgical precision. The United States Army Air Corps places an order, a small one, a leap of faith. The Norden bombsight becomes one of the most closely guarded secrets of the American military. The device is so secret that bombardiers are forced to swear an oath to protect its design with their lives. They are told that if their plane is going down, they must destroy the bombsight at all costs. The story of its legend begins to grow. It is whispered about in hushed tones in hangars and briefing rooms, a mythical weapon of unimaginable power. The Germans, in their own intelligence reports, have heard rumors of an American superweapon, but dismiss them as propaganda. They believe that no such device could exist. The physics are against it. The bomber pilots, the men who will one day carry these devices into the sky, have yet to see it. They have yet to understand that their days of flying blind are over and that a new, terrifyingly precise kind of warfare is about to begin. The laugh of the Luftwaffe is about to turn into a cry of terror. But first, the Norden bombsight must prove itself in the crucible of war, a crucible that will demand more than just engineering perfection. It will demand a human sacrifice that no one has yet contemplated. The year is 1942. The skies over Europe are a maelstrom of steel and fire. The American 8th Air Force has arrived, its B-17 flying fortresses gleaming symbols of a new resolve. But their baptism by fire is a cruel, humbling experience. The early missions are a brutal education in the realities of air combat. The Germans, with their sophisticated radar and deadly Focke-Wulf fighters, are masters of the skies. The American bombers, flying in tight, vulnerable formations, are sitting ducks. The Luftwaffe pilots, veterans of the Spanish Civil War and the Battle of Britain, are a ruthless, efficient killing machine. The B-17s are nicknamed the Flying Blinder for a reason. Their bomb runs are often a chaotic, terrifying affair. Flak bursts around them in black clouds, shaking the massive planes like toys. The ground is often obscured by clouds or smoke, and the bombardiers are reduced to guesswork, a frantic calculation based on a fleeting glimpse of the target. The Norden bombsight, now installed in the bombardier's compartment, is a source of both hope and frustration. The early models are still temperamental. The vibrations of the plane, the freezing temperatures at high altitude, and the sheer chaos of a combat mission can throw the delicate gyroscopes out of alignment. The bombardiers, men like Captain Bob Burns, a veteran of several harrowing missions, are trained in its use, but the reality is far different from the controlled environment of a training flight. On a mission to bomb a U-boat pen in France, Burns lines up his run. The target is a tiny, heavily defended concrete structure. He flips the switch, and the bombsight takes over the plane. The shuddering, groaning bomber seems to smooth out, its wings steadying as the machine's logic takes control. Burns's heart pounds in his chest. The crosshairs are locked on the target. He sees the target grow larger in the eyepiece, a perfectly framed picture of a concrete roof. Flak explodes nearby, sending a shockwave that rattles the plane and makes the bombsight shudder. The crosshairs jump. A quick glance at the altimeter and airspeed indicator reveals that they are slightly off. The bombsight's complex internal machinery struggles to recalibrate. The moment to drop is seconds away. Burns knows he has to make a split-second decision. Trust the machine or take a chance and drop manually? He trusts it. He trusts the training, the faith of his commanders, and the reputation of the device. The bombs drop. Below, the Germans on the ground see the gleaming silver B-17s, their payload of destruction released. They watch as the bombs fall, expecting the usual scattering. But this time is different. The bombs do not scatter. They fall in a tight, concentrated pattern, a fist of steel hurtling toward a single point. One bomb hits the edge of the pen, another a few yards away. 1, 2, 3 bombs hit the very center of the massive concrete structure, sending up plumes of smoke and debris. The Germans are stunned. This is not the blundering, scattershot bombing they are used to. This is precision. This is terrifying. But these moments of success are rare in the early days. The German defenses are formidable, and the Norden bombsight, for all its genius, is not a magic wand. It cannot make a plane invisible. It cannot stop the relentless assault of fighters and flak. On a mission to bomb the ball-bearing factories in Schweinfurt, the B-17s are met with a storm of resistance. The sky is a canvas of smoke and fire. Planes fall out of the sky, their engines on fire, their wings shattered. The bombardiers in the nose of the plane are a prime target. They are exposed, vulnerable, with nothing but plexiglass between them and a hail of machine gun fire. Many die with their hands on the bombsight, a testament to their unwavering faith in the mission. The Schweinfurt mission is a tactical disaster, a brutal, bloody price paid for a strategic gain that, in the end, seems minimal. The morale of the bomber crews plummets. They are told they are heroes, but they feel like martyrs. The German propaganda machine gloats, showing film of downed bombers and captured airmen. They laugh at the American flying coffins and their precision bombs that still manage to miss their mark more often than not. The Norden bombsight is an object of scorn, a symbol of a promise that is not being kept. But what the Germans don't see, what the propaganda films don't show, is the quiet, relentless dedication of the men on the ground and in the air. The engineers working to perfect the device to make it more resilient to the stresses of combat. The pilots refining their techniques, learning how to fly a straight and level course in the face of death. The bombardiers growing in confidence, learning to trust the machine and their training. The laughter is still loud, but it is about to fade. The next great bombing raid will not be a test of technology or courage. It will be a test of human will, a mission so daring, so audacious, that it will either validate the Norden bombsight as the weapon that can turn the tide of war, or it will be the final tragic proof that American precision bombing is a myth, a costly and bloody lie. The year is 1943. The Allies are bogged down in a war of attrition. The Germans, despite the bombing, are still a formidable foe. Their industrial heartland remains largely intact, a testament to the failure of daylight bombing to cripple their war machine. The American Army Air Corps is under immense pressure to deliver. The promises of the Norden bombsight, of surgical precision and crippling industrial strikes, have yet to materialize on a grand scale. The missions are still bloody, the losses are still staggering, and the strategic results are still, at best, mixed. In the war rooms and on the airfields of England, a new plan is taking shape, a plan so bold it borders on insanity. The target is the German aircraft industry, specifically a network of Messerschmitt factories that are the lifeblood of the Luftwaffe. These factories are not clustered together. They are scattered across Germany deep within enemy territory. The mission, codenamed Operation Argument, is designed to be a knockout blow, a single devastating strike that will cripple German air power and clear the skies for the eventual invasion of Europe. It will be the largest air offensive of the war to date, a massive coordinated effort involving hundreds of bombers and fighters. The heart of the plan rests on the Norden bombsight. The bombardiers, now veterans of dozens of missions, have a newfound faith in the device. They have seen its potential. They know that when it works with an almost supernatural precision. The training has been intensified. The bombardiers are now a different breed, not just navigators and bomb droppers, but true masters of their craft. An elite group of technicians who can coax the most out of their delicate, complicated instrument. They spend hours in simulated runs, practicing every variable, every contingency. They know the machine's strengths and weaknesses, its quirks and its temperamental nature. The days leading up to the mission are fraught with tension. The weather reports are grim. A thick cloud cover hangs over Germany, the kind of weather that has made past missions a joke. Without a clear view of the target, the Norden bombsight is useless. The entire operation, the lives of thousands of men, hangs in the balance. But then, on the morning of February 20th, 1944, a miracle. The clouds part. The weather is clear, the visibility perfect. It is a sign, the men believe, a sign that this is the day. The bombers take off in a steady, thundering procession. The sky is filled with the roar of 1,000 engines. The formations are tight. A vast, powerful armada of B-17s and B-24s. As they cross the English Channel and head into the heart of Germany, the German radar operators light up with alarm. The Luftwaffe scrambles everything they have. The flak batteries on the ground prepare for a storm of destruction. The battle is joined high above the European continent. It is a brutal, chaotic dance of death. Fighters scream through the formations, their machine guns spitting fire. The bombers, in their tight, defiant boxes, fight back, their .50 caliber machine guns a constant deafening roar. Planes go down in a firestorm of twisted metal and smoke. The men inside them, the young men from farms and cities across America, fight and die with a grim determination. In the lead bomber, the bombardier Sergeant Tom Morgan has his eyes fixed on the Norden bombsight. His hands are on the controls, his body tense with concentration. The target, a sprawling Messerschmitt factory, is now visible through the plexiglass nose. It looks impossibly small, a collection of buildings and runways miles below. He flips the switch, and the bombsight hums to life. its internal gyroscope spinning, its gears meshing with a quiet, confident precision. The aircraft straightens out, a ghost ship in a storm of flak and fighter attacks. Morgan's breath fogs the glass. He ignores the explosions and the screams of the dying, the fire and the fury all around him. His world is now a small, perfectly framed rectangle of a target and a glowing crosshair. He makes a minor adjustment. The bombsight corrects the plane's course. He sees the target, a tiny dot, moving closer, growing larger. The machine is in control. It is doing the work it was designed to do, the work Carl Norden obsessed over for years in a quiet New York lab. The moment of truth arrives. A single audible click, the sound of the bombs being released. The plane shudders as the weight is released. Morgan looks up, his eyes meeting the pilot's for a fleeting second. They say nothing, but they know. They know this time is different. The bombs fall. They do not scatter. They fall in a straight, terrifying line, a geometric perfection of destruction. The victory of Operation Argument, the brutal but effective Big Week, changes the face of the air war in Europe. The German industrial machine is crippled, and the Luftwaffe, starved for new planes, is unable to recover. The skies are now a much safer place for the Allied bombers, paving the way for D-Day and the final push into Germany. The Norden bombsight, once a source of frustration and doubt, is now a legend. It is hailed as the secret weapon that turned the tide. Its reputation is so immense that the military begins to see it not just as a tool for hitting factories, but as the key to a new, total form of warfare. The emphasis on precision becomes an obsession. The moral imperative that drove Carl Norden, the idea of hitting only the target, is now perverted by the cold, calculating logic of strategic command. The bomb, once a tool for surgical strikes, is now seen as the ultimate weapon of coercion, a way to bring an entire nation to its knees. But as the war in Europe winds down, a new, more brutal conflict rages in the Pacific. The enemy is different. The targets are different. Japan, a nation of scattered islands and sprawling, densely packed cities, presents a new set of challenges for the American Air Force. The B-29 Superfortress, a technological marvel of long-range flight, is deployed. It is a flying behemoth designed to carry a massive payload over vast distances, and in its nose, the Norden bombsight. The early missions over Japan are a frustrating echo of the early days in Europe. The weather is a constant enemy, a relentless blanket of clouds and storms that makes precision bombing a fantasy. The Japanese defenses are fierce, and the sheer distances mean that a single missed target can mean a wasted mission. The bombardiers, now flying at incredibly high altitudes, are fighting against the jet stream, an invisible river of wind that can push a plane off course by hundreds of miles. The Norden bombsight, for all its genius, cannot overcome a fundamental lack of visibility. A new strategy is devised, born out of frustration and desperation. Colonel Curtis LeMay, a hard-nosed, pragmatic commander, concludes that high-altitude precision bombing is a fool's errand. The B-29s will fly lower at night, and they will not be carrying conventional bombs. They will be carrying incendiaries. The target is no longer the factory, it is the entire city. The wooden and paper homes of Japan are a tinderbox, and LeMay plans to set them all on fire. The moral philosophy of Carl Norden, the idea of the bomb as a precise ethical tool, is tossed aside in favor of a new, horrifying form of total destruction. The Norden bombsight is no longer used for a surgical strike. It is used to find the center of a city, the exact geographic point where the maximum amount of damage can be unleashed. On the night of March 9, 1945, the firebombing of Tokyo begins. The mission is a grotesque masterpiece of destructive precision. The B-29s, flying low, drop their bombs, not as a scattered rain of steel, but as a deliberate, concentrated inferno. The Norden bombsight, a device designed to hit a single building, is now used to ensure that a wall of fire spreads with maximum efficiency, consuming everything in its path. The result is a nightmare on the ground. A firestorm, a literal hurricane of fire sweeps through the city, consuming over 100,000 lives in a single night. The heat is so intense that canals boil and people are incinerated where they stand. The city is reduced to ash. It is an act of calculated, precise annihilation, a brutal testament to the fact that a tool of immense power, regardless of its original intent, can be turned to any purpose, no matter how horrifying. The men in the plains are horrified by what they see. They are professionals, trained to drop bombs on factories and military targets. But the sight of a city burning, of the acrid smell of burning flesh carried on the wind, is a psychological toll that many will never shake. The Norden bombsight, once a symbol of precision and righteousness, is now a silent accomplice to mass destruction. The ethical dilemma that Carl Norden struggled with has been solved in the most brutal way possible, by ignoring it entirely. The world now understands that precision is a double-edged sword. It can be used to build a better world, or it can be used to destroy it with a level of cold, calculating efficiency that was once unimaginable. But the story of the bomb and the bombsight is not yet over. There is one final, terrifying chapter to be written, a chapter that will forever change the definition of war and the very meaning of the word precision. A chapter where the Norden bombsight, a humble piece of analog technology, will guide a new kind of weapon to a new kind of target, a weapon that will unleash a destructive force 1,000 times greater than anything the world had ever seen. The firebombing campaigns of Japan have brought the war to a new level of terror, but they have not brought about a surrender. The Japanese leadership, despite the horrific losses, remains defiant. The planned invasion of the mainland, Operation Downfall, is expected to be a bloody, protracted affair, costing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of lives. The Allies, desperate to end the war without a costly land invasion, are working on a new weapon, a new kind of bomb that promises to change the course of human history. It is a weapon born of science, a product of the Manhattan Project, a top-secret endeavor that has been operating in the shadows for years. The weapon is the atomic bomb. The atomic bomb is not a conventional weapon. It is not designed to be dropped on a factory or a city. It is designed to be dropped on a target that will surrender. It is a psychological weapon, a final, terrible exclamation point at the end of the most brutal war in history. But for it to work, it must be delivered with a level of accuracy that is almost beyond human comprehension. The bomb, a massive, fragile, and volatile device, must be dropped at a precise altitude, at a precise point in space, to ensure a perfect airburst that will unleash its full, terrifying power. There is no room for error. A miss by a few hundred feet could mean the difference between a successful detonation and a dud. Enter the Norden bombsight. The engineers of the Manhattan Project, the top physicists and military commanders, concluded that no other device could deliver the bomb with the necessary precision. A machine born of an engineer's obsession with a moral bomb is now entrusted with the most immoral weapon ever created. The irony is lost on no one, but the stakes are too high for philosophical debates. The Norden bombsight is brought out of its combat-proven role of hitting factories and thrust into a new, terrifying test. It is no longer just a tool for a bombardier. It is the key to unlocking the very atom itself. The mission is shrouded in secrecy. A specially modified B-29, the Enola Gay, is prepared. Its crew is a hand-picked group of veterans, men who have flown dozens of combat missions and have been trained for this one singular purpose. The bombardier, Major Thomas Farabee, is a man of immense skill and steely nerves. He has been training for months, flying over desolate American landscapes, practicing a single terrifying bomb run. He knows what he is carrying, but he doesn't fully comprehend the power he holds in his hands. No one does. On the morning of August 6, 1945, the Enola Gay takes off from Tinian Island. The weather is clear. The plane makes its long, lonely journey to Japan. The target is the city of Hiroshima. Farabee, in the nose of the plane, is a picture of cold, professional calm. His hands are on the controls of the Norden bombsight. The city, a sprawling collection of buildings and rivers, is now in his crosshairs. He flips the switch. The bombsight takes over. The plane becomes a ghost, a silent, controlled vessel gliding toward its destiny. He sees the crosshairs line up. He sees the target, a bridge at the center of the city. His hand moves to the release switch. The bomb, named Little Boy, is now armed. The Norden bombsight makes its final, precise calculation. A click. The bomb is released. The plane shudders. The pilot, Colonel Paul Tibbets, immediately begins a hard turn, a violent maneuver designed to get as far away from the blast as possible. Farabee looks back. He sees the bomb, a small, dark object falling toward the city. The Norden bombsight has done its job. It has delivered the most destructive weapon in human history, with an almost supernatural precision. The world holds its breath for a few more seconds. The bomb, once a symbol of ethical warfare, is now falling toward a city of hundreds of thousands of civilians. The laughter of the Luftwaffe, the frustration of the American bombardiers, the blood and the sacrifice of 2 continents have all led to this single, terrible moment. And as the bomb detonates, unleashing a hell of 1,000 suns, the world will finally understand the true, horrifying meaning of precision. The flash of light will be a brilliant, beautiful, and terrifying monument to the single-minded obsession of a single man in a quiet New York lab, an obsession that has now, in one terrifying moment, given humanity the power to destroy itself. The story, however, is not over. The true impact of the Norden bombsight, its legacy, and its long shadow over the Cold War and beyond is only just beginning. The flash of the atomic bomb over Hiroshima and then Nagasaki marks the end of World War II and the beginning of a new, terrifying age. The Norden bombsight, a mechanical marvel of a bygone era, becomes a silent witness to this new reality. Its moment of ultimate triumph is also its moment of ultimate tragedy. The device that Carl Norden had envisioned as a way to make warfare more ethical had, in the end, been used to unleash the most destructive force in human history, an act so devastating that it forever changed the very nature of conflict. In the years after the war, the Norden bombsight is slowly and quietly phased out. The age of analog computing is over. The rise of digital technology of radar and inertial navigation systems makes the complex, gyro-stabilized bombsight obsolete. The men who flew with it, the bombardiers who swore an oath to protect its secrets with their lives, become a part of a forgotten generation. The Norden bombsight, once the most closely guarded secret in America, is now relegated to museums and forgotten storage closets. It is a relic of a time when war was still a matter of pilots and planes, of men and machines, and not of cold, calculating missile trajectories and computer-guided drones. But the legacy of the Norden bombsight is not about the technology itself. It is about the idea it represented. It is about the paradox of precision, the belief that a conflict can be made more humane by making its weapons more accurate. It is a belief that has echoed down through the decades, from the Cold War with its satellite reconnaissance and ICBMs to the modern era of smart bombs and surgical strikes. The ghost of Carl Norden, the man who believed that you could hit a factory without hitting the orphanage next door, haunts every debate about the ethics of modern warfare. The bombing of Dresden, the firebombing of Tokyo, the ultimate destruction of Hiroshima, these acts, each with a different level of precision and intent, all point to the same grim truth, that the ability to be precise does not guarantee moral action. A weapon, no matter how accurate, is still just a tool in the hands of a human being, and it is the human intent that defines its ultimate purpose. The Norden bombsight, in its final days, was a machine designed to deliver a single, terrifying payload to a single, terrifying target. It was a tool of such profound precision that it allowed humanity to leap from one era of warfare to another, from a world of scattered bombs to a world of absolute targeted destruction. Its story is the story of a technological leap and an ethical fall, a cautionary tale about the difference between what a machine can do and what we choose to do with it. The laugh of the Luftwaffe, the laugh of a world that believed in the limitations of physics, was a laugh of ignorance. The precision of the Norden bombsight was the answer to that laugh. It was a terrible, beautiful, and world-changing answer. And in the silent, museum-bound casing of the bombsight, a relic of a war won and a world changed forever. One can still hear the quiet hum of its gyroscopes, a hum that whispers a single, haunting truth. Precision is not salvation. It is only power. And the ultimate question is not whether we can be precise in our destruction, but whether we can be wise enough to know when to stop. The story of the Norden bombsight ends, but the story of the moral quandaries it presented is far from over. It is a story that continues to unfold in our own time, in the skies above our own heads, and in the choices we make today and tomorrow.